Seconds.
Okay, so it was Spencer Brown's play, and it was also Libby Barstow's birthday. So Thomas Esme and Spencer Brown and I decided that to celebrate Libby's birthday, after Spencer's show, we would go back to Spencer's house, have Mountain Dew, ice cream, and play some Magic. It's a nice little birthday thing to do on a Thursday in a school day, right? Yeah. So,
No.
turns out that Libby can't actually go to the play, so it's just Thomas and myself. And we go to the play, we enjoy the play goes, etc., so on and so forth. And now, Dan Watts. Fucking Dan Watts. None of you know Dan Watts, except for Spencer, but fucking Dan Watts hears that there might be a party at Spencer's house without any details or context. So, after the play, Dan Watts goes to a Dunkin' Donuts, where by a random crazy happenstance, he runs into Spencer's father, who shall be known as Mr. Brown. And Dan Watts says to Mr. Brown, "So, Mr. Brown, I heard there's a party at your house tonight."
Oh my god.
And Spencer's father is just like, "Okay." So then Dan Watts calls everyone he knows, and Tom, if you thought I was sketchy, Dan Watts calls everyone he knows, and tells them that there's a party at Spencer's house.
Oh shit.
So now,
Holy crap.
so Ariana Ophelia Lyon, who is incredibly unreliable and flaky, as Spencer Brown will attest. Spencer Brown, attest.
It's supposed to be really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is supposed to give Thomas and myself a ride back to my house after we go to Spencer's house for ice cream and Magic and such.
It's fucking 5 in the morning.
Well, after she drops us off there, she turns around and she says to Spencer, "Actually, I think I want to go home." And I say, "But, Ari, you're Thomas and I's ride home. We're screwed without you." And she's like, "Yeah, about that. Hey, look, something shiny." And then while Thomas and I are distracted, she runs away and drives off. So, the night goes on, and we're outside in Spencer's parking lot. I'm talking to a bush for some reason. I think I was like Moses at one point, but that's irrelevant. I got really, really bored. George Roche got really, really angry at me when I wouldn't join him in his vodka flask drinking. The night progressed, and eventually we were playing some Green Day music, kind of loud-ish, just sitting around a campfire, not doing anything illegal, and 2 cops show up.
Yeah, right.
And they walk into the backyard, and the cops are like, "Hey, what are you kids drinking, huh? Mountain Dew?"
Obnoxiously in everyone's face. By the way, just continue.
Yeah, the cops basically do this to everybody. "What are you drinking, huh? Mountain Dew?" And then, to inspect the Mountain Dew, they open one of the cans and they shake it. They don't open it, they just shake it. Then they turn around and they see the ice cream, and they say, "So, you're eating ice cream, huh? What flavors you got?" When Spencer says,
Vanilla strawberry, do you want some?
"No!" And the cops very, very rudely refuse the ice cream.
And then
So-
they demand to talk to my parents.
Yes, Ryan Brown, Spencer's older brother, who is also an Eagle Scout, thank you, who's also an Eagle Scout,
He is my child.
goes up to the cops, and he hands out his hand to shake the cop's hand, and tries to introduce himself as Ryan Brown, the most responsible person there, because Spencer's father was still missing in action. And the cop refuses to shake his hand and says he'll only talk to Mr. Brown. So we send Ryan upstairs to get Mr. Brown. Mr. Brown comes down, he's all prepared, like, "Oh yeah, cops, front lawn," well, again, okay, whatever. And he goes over to the cops, and they talk, and they sort things out, and the cops are like, "Well, there's a noise ordinance." And Ryan's like, "Well, actually, the noise ordinance is at a certain decibel level after a certain time. We're still within legal constraints." And the cop's like, "But there's a noise ordinance at some point, so you have to turn off the music." So we have to turn off the music. And then the cops hug Spencer's father. It's really weird.
No, okay, you left out a very important part.
Did I?
Yes.
Fucking even
You
longer.
left out the part where, then, my brother goes to the other cop, the second cop that's there, and he goes to shake his hand. He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry for, all of this, you guys had to come out here, blah, blah, it won't happen again." And the other cop's like, "Oh, no, we don't shake hands." Rudely,
Yeah.
not shaking his hand. And then my dad's like, "Oh, so I guess a hug's out of the question?" And then one of the police officers is like, No, we do hugs." And then he hugs my dad.
Right.
And
What
then,
the fuck is wrong with the police officer?
No, that's perfectly
Anyway,
normal.
and then the police officers, they sat outside, like, smoking for a half hour. It was really weird.
it was weird.
And then-
After everyone left, they were still sitting.
Anyway,
in front of
there's a van that's only designed to sit 6 people, and we have to fit like 10 people in this van to get out, because the cops want us all to go. There's this really sketchy guy, his name is Jake, he's driving, he has a green mohawk, it's really weird.
No, I think his name is Matt.
Matt?
Yeah.
I thought it was Jake. There was a Jake in the car with a green mohawk, too.
No, that would be Mike.
Why are you
Okay.
hanging out with me?
I'm not! That's the thing! Thomas and I were just innocent bystanders. Ari was supposed to give us a ride home, we wanted to have some ice cream, play some
Where are you
Magic.
right now?
Now we're in this sketchy car with people that Thomas and I don't know, and Dan Watts.
Where did the cops go?
So we drive to Dan Watts' house because Dan Watts needs his slippers. I shit you not. Dan Watts makes us drive
Oh,
to the other side of
God.
Cranston to get slippers.
This is fucking ridiculous.
Then we drive around Rhode Island, just dropping people off. Finally, it's just Thomas, myself, the driver, and one other guy. And the other guy is like, "So guys, I have a story for you.
Oh God, another one.
It's like
Who
Inception,
here
a story within a story.
has heard of Unga Munga Africa?
Me.
No one? No, didn't think so. Alright, here's how it went. See, little Billy was sitting in class one day, right?
Inception.
They were doing geography. So he was explaining things, pointing to them on the map. She was like, so here's Egypt, here's Florida, etc., so on and so forth. And she starts asking him questions, like a pop quiz type thing. And she asks if anybody can point out where Unga Munga Africa is. And little Billy, he kind of innocently raises his hand and he says, Miss Teacher, where's Unga Munga Africa? I've never heard of that. And the teacher just looks at Billy and she says, get out. Get out now. And when he's like, wait, what? And the teacher's like, no, get out of my classroom, now. And Billy's kind of confused. He's not really sure what he's doing wrong or why he's in trouble. But he goes out of the classroom and he goes out into the hallway. He sits there for a couple of moments, then he decides that, whenever he's been kicked from a classroom before, he inevitably winds up at the principal's office. So he might as well speed things along and go there now. So little Billy goes to the principal's office, and he sits down in the office. He waits a little while. The principal comes and he says, little Billy, I don't usually see you in one here. You're one of the better behaved students. What have you done wrong? Come into my office and talk to me. So little Billy goes into the principal's office and starts explaining. So, principal, see, I was sitting in my geography class, and my teacher was teaching us things like Egypt and Florida, and then she asked us where Unga Munga Africa was. And I said I didn't know where it was, and the principal gets really, really quiet all of a sudden and leans forward. Sort of like that thing that your mother does when she realizes you ate a cookie before dinner and you weren't supposed to. And looks little Billy in the eye, and says, get out. And little Billy's like, wait, what? And Principal's like, fuck out of my school. and Billy is completely taken aback. First off, there's no need for that kind of language. And second off, he still doesn't know what he did wrong. But the principal stands up, opens the door, points, get out of my school, Billy. You're expelled. So Billy slumps outside. It's raining out. It's kind of sucky. He has a cold already, and the rain's not really helping things. It was almost better. He's probably bound to have a relapse at this point. And yeah, shut the fuck up. So eventually little Billy decides that if he can't be in school anymore, he might as well go home, because he's just wasting time here. It's raining out, it's really, really miserable, there's lightning and thunder, some dudes by him get electrocuted, it's really, really scary. And he finally gets home, and he goes inside, and his mother looks at him, and he's soaking wet. And she looks at him, and she's like, Billy, what are you doing home from school so early? Did you walk home in the rain?
Oh shit.
What happened? Why are you home early? Here, let me make some hot chocolate. Tell me what happened. So she puts the hot chocolate in the microwave, they sit down, they're talking, and Billy's like, because it's very sniffly after being in the rain, it's really cold and it's wet and stuff still, because his mother is really, really irresponsible. She didn't even give him a towel to dry off with or anything. And they're at the table, and little Billy's like, so, I was in geography class this morning, and my teacher was teaching us things like Egypt and Florida, and then she asked where Unga Munga Africa was, and I didn't know. So she sent me to the principal's office, and then the principal found out why I didn't know where Unga Munga Africa was. So then he kicked me out of the school, and then I thought about coming in the rain, and some people got electrocuted, and now I'm getting cold. And his mother gets very, very sullen, and the microwave beeps, but she doesn't go to get the hot chocolate, and Billy kind of looks at it longingly, but she doesn't make any moves. And after a very, very long pause, she just sighs and she says, Billy, go to your room. Wait for your father to get home. And now Billy knows he's in trouble. Whatever he has to wait for his father to get home, things are serious. So, Billy goes up the stairs, he's really, really scared. It's only like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, his father doesn't get home until 5, so he has a long time to sit and think about what he's done. But the thing is, he doesn't know what he's done. He can't see that he's done anything wrong, other than not know where Unga Munga Africa was. So finally, time goes by, here's the car door outside, car engine turns off, click, front door opens, father comes in, pause. He did what? Slams on the door, glass breaks, little Billy starts to whimper. Hears banging out of the steps as his father walks upstairs to his bedroom. Kicks open the door, walks inside. Billy? Billy? What happened today? And Billy's like, okay, so, I was in geography class, and the teacher was teaching us things like Egypt and Florida, and then she asked us something else, I didn't have the answer to the question, so I went to the principal's office, and the principal found out what happened, so he expelled me, and then I went home in the rain, and some people got electrocuted, and I got a cold, and then I came home, and Mom made me hot chocolate, but she wouldn't give it to me, and then she asked me to tell her what happened, and then she told me to go upstairs and wait here for you. His father gets a very, very serious look in his eye, like the look when your dad's about to beat the shit out of you with his belt. That look.
I know that look.
Don't you? Don't you all? Bet you do, Brennan. And His father looks him in the eye,
Too soon.
tilts his head, and he says, "What didn't you know, Billy?" And Billy says, "I didn't know where fucking Unga Bunga, Africa was." And now, a responsible parent would be like, "Did you just use that language with me?" Not Billy's dad. Billy's father's reaction is, "You didn't know where what was?" Then he slaps Billy across the face, really, really hard, with brass knuckles for some reason. And Billy's nose is bleeding. There's like blood shooting down both nostrils. He's missing some teeth. He topples off of his bed. He rolls onto the floor. His father starts curb stomping him right into the bedroom floor.
Jesus.
It's really, really violent. He breaks the bed. He takes a bedpost off. He rams the bedpost through Billy.
Let's go.
He takes it back out. There's blood and splinters everywhere.
Yeah, we get it.
Billy's on the ground, whimpering and crying and shuddering and stuff.
Right.
And then his father's like, "No son of mine doesn't know where Ugamunga, Africa is. Get out. Get out right now. I'm kicking you out of the house." So Billy starts to whimper. He slumbers out of the house and slinks down the stairs outside. The rain's gone, so that's nice, but now it's snowing. He doesn't have a coat because his father didn't give him time, so now it's really, really cold. And he's probably going to catch up with Ernie and die or something. But he doesn't have a home or a school anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And he's on the street for a while. He's walking. He doesn't know where to go. He doesn't have any friends. He's really, really unlikable because he never showers. And then after a while, a cab drives by, and the cab driver looks out the window kind of curiously and is like, hey kid, what are you doing on the sidewalk alone?" "Get in, kid, it's snowing out. I'll give you a lift. Come on. So Billy's a little hesitant at this point because he hasn't had much luck with people today. But finally he realizes that the snow really, really freaking sucks, so he gets in the cab, sits down, the cab driver gives him a cup of coffee, and the cab driver's like, "Alright, kid, so what happened? Why are you out in the snow?" And Billy's really reluctant to tell the cab driver what happened. Finally he decides there's no way that this random stranger is going to get up his case for not knowing where Ugamunga, Africa was. So Billy takes a deep breath and he explains, "So, I was in my geography class this morning, and the teacher was explaining the locations of Egypt and Florida, and then she asked me a question that I didn't have the answer to. So she kicked me out of the classroom, and I went to the principal's office because I didn't know what to do. And then the principal expelled me from the school, so I went home in the rain, and I got wet, and some people got electrocuted, and I was really depressed because I didn't have hot chocolate. And I got home, and everyone offered me hot chocolate, and I was like, yay, hot chocolate, fuck yeah! But then she found out what happened in school, and then she didn't give me the hot chocolate. And then she sent me up to my room to wait for my father, and then I had to wait for my father, and my father came home, and he went upstairs, and he found out what happened, and he beat the shit out of me. And I'm bleeding, and it's snowing, and I don't have a home or a school, and it sucks. And I was like, kid, that's terrible. What sort of abusive fucking parents do that to you? What could you have possibly not known that was that important? And he goes like, I know, right? I just didn't know where Ugamunga, Africa was. Yeah. What? I didn't know where... Get out of the car. But, out of the fucking car.
How long is
Cab
the
driver
story?
opens the door, kicks Billy out on the street. Billy rolls, he does a somersault. He almost falls down a sewer.
And dies.
But in the interest of abridging the story, he doesn't fall down the sewer.
Lambo.
He actually rolls over the sewer lid, and he gets up, and he realizes he's at the pier now. There's a boat, and it's loading cargo and stuff, and he decides he might as well be a stowaway, because after all, he doesn't really have anything else to do. And he climbs into a box of oranges. See, there are these really, really underpaid Mexican workers, and they're putting oranges and crates onto the boat, and doesn't know where the boat's going.
Right.
And Billy hides in one of the boxes of oranges, and the Mexican workers come and they carry him onto the boat, and he's in the boat, and the boat sits away, and now he's a stowaway. And it's really, really exciting, but he's depressed because he has broken bones and there's splinters and everything in him, and he has hypothermia. So the boat's going for a while, things are going on. Then he sees a light, and the cargo hold with him, and he thinks, that's peculiar, I hope I haven't been found out. And a really, really deep black voice calls out to him, hey, you. And he's deathly quiet. Maybe if he's really, really quiet and still, it won't notice him, like a T-Rex. So he just sits there, in the dark, quiet, doesn't know how long, a minute, 5 minutes, 10. Hey, you! I see you in the oranges, kid. Billy shoots out of the oranges and says, I'm sorry, I didn't do it. And then he's looking and says, no, it's cool, I didn't do it either. He's like, what? And he's like, you stowaway, right? And Billy's like, yeah. And he's like, oh, that's cool, me too. And then they sit down, they're eating oranges together, they're bonding. He can't see him because it's really, really dark and he's black, so as far as he knows, he might as well be alone with some sort of disembodied voice. But they're going on,
Yeah, I would have been before.
and the black guy is explaining his situation, and he ran out of money at his home, so he was evicted, so now he's stowing away in the boat. He doesn't know where the boat's going, but he really likes oranges for some reason. It's really weird. But it's an orange-carrying boat. Oranges is the only thing the boat ships. It's
Battery's
really,
dying.
really weird. And I'm nowhere near done.
Fuck.
I need to wrap it up before I kill you.
No, nah, bro. And then Billy gets to his turn to explain his story to the black guy. And I was like, so you see, what happened was, no, he really trusted this guy because the way he sees it, they're in the same predicament. They're both lost causes. So I can't possibly shun him. They need to stick together. Then like
Falling
that
off
to
the
survive.
chair.
So Billy's explaining his story, and he says, so this morning I was in my geography class, right? And my teacher taught me where Egypt and Florida was, but then I didn't know where something else was because she never taught it to me. So she kicked me out of the classroom, and I went to my principal's office, and the principal's office found out. So then they expelled me from the school, so I went to the rain, and some people got electrocuted, and there was hypothermia. So then I get home, and I explained to my mother what happened, and she was making me hot chocolate, but then she took the hot chocolate away when she found out what happened. She made a room to wait for my father, and my father came home, and he found out upstairs, and he found out what happened, and he beat me up with some beer bottles and stuff, and brass knuckles, and it really, really hurt. Then he kicked me out of the house without a coat, and I went outside, and it was snowing, even though it's August, and it really made no sense. And then I got in a cab driver with a really nice cab driver guy. But then the cab driver found out what happened. And then he kicked me out of the cab, and I rolled, and I found out in a sewer. But not really, because James had to make the story shorter for everybody, because they were losing patience. And then I realized I was at a pier, and there were these really, really underpaid illegal immigrants carrying oranges onto a boat.
I'm
so I
gonna
was
throw
like,
this camera at
might
you.
as well get into the box, right? So we got into the box, then I was on the boat, and then I met you. And Mike was like, shit, yo. What didn't you know? And Bill's like, I only didn't know where Ungamunga, Africa was. Shit, yo. Black guy stands up. Now Billy can see him under the dim lighting. The form, very, very hulky. Kind of like Ruben. And
Alright, you had to get him to punch you.
no, I'm not done.
Come on!
Then,
Jesus Christ.
then the black guy grabs Billy by the scruff of his hair and starts dragging him through the cargo hold upstairs to the deck, to the bridge. And it really makes no sense at first, because they're both stowaways, right? You think they'd be hiding? And the black guy goes up to the captain and he's like, this kid didn't know where Ungamunga, Africa was. And the captain's like, what? The captain didn't even question the black guy. He knows he's not in the crew manifest, but he doesn't ask if he was a stowaway. All the captain cares about is that Billy didn't know where Ungamunga, Africa was. So, and I'm abridging again here, because there's some more parts.
Yeah.
The captain takes Billy by the scruff of the hair, just like the black guy had, and throws him overboard.
Oh, yay. Okay.
Billy falls into the water, the ocean is swirling around him, it really, 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 really sucks. And he's starting to drown, and he can't swim, because first off, he's like the kid from Limbo, and second off, he has broken bones, because his abusive father beat the shit out of him. And he's in the water, and then,
Shark eats
you're
him.
not going to believe what happened next.
Oh, what happened?
But a whale
Oh.
comes up out of fucking nowhere,
Oh, really?
and eats Billy.
Holy shit!
He's not dead.
Fuck.
He's just trapped in the whale's
He's like
mouth.
Nemo. Are we done?
Now, no.
Fuck.
Now Billy's crying in the whale's mouth with saliva and stuff dripping all over him. He can't believe his situation.
I'm gonna kill him.
He's,
He's gonna come.
he's trying to figure out where he went wrong.
fucking
So
kill him.
he just starts recounting his steps like you do when you lose something, trying to figure out what happened, where he can go home and fix something, right? So he's like, think to yourself, Billy. So you're in geography class.